Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 8. So we're in the middle of the current storyline or graphic novel for this season of The Flash, with the Black Flame causing havoc throughout Central City, with its death toll at 3 currently, but it wasn't added to last episode, which was interesting, and I don't know if it will be added to, because at the end of last episode, we saw the Black Flame approach Caitlin and not attacking and I guess possibly killing her, but instead deciding to speak to her, with Caitlin and I guess us, the audience as well, hearing Ronnie's voice, as in Ronnie Raymond, Caitlin's dead husband. Now, we know that the Black Flame can represent itself as anyone. We saw that with Chester and his father, so this could easily be the same here, right? Well, yeah, you'd have to think so, but then again, it could easily actually be Ronnie. I mean, he had, flame powers associated with Firestorm, so I mean, it could be him, and it's some like twisted dead version or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I mean, stranger things have happened, but we should learn more in this week's upcoming episode, hopefully. But speaking of upcoming things and upcoming episodes, we have a few things to go over in this video that have to do with some upcoming episodes over the next few weeks, as well as, the end of the season. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, especially with some of the stuff we talk towards the end, talk about towards the end of it, because I'm very curious to hear what you guys might think. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, you just want to show your support, want to drop a like on the video to do all that. So late last week, I can't remember what day it was. I think it might have been like the day of The Flash, actually, now that I think about it. Or maybe the day after. But the CW released the finale dates for a bunch of their shows for this season, which includes some DC shows like Naomi, which has a 2-hour finale on Tuesday, May 10th. Superman Lois, which has its season 2 finale on June 21st. And then The Flash, which finishes the last of all the shows with its season 8 finale listed for June 29th. Now, some of you might be thinking like, wow, like, I mean, that's a while away. That must mean there was a long break or something after, an episode of The Flash or something, or there was a few breaks in between, a handful of episodes. But that actually isn't the case. The Flash will only have 2 weeks off, I'm pretty sure, from this point forward, with one of those 1 week breaks being fairly soon after this week's upcoming episode, which is episode 11. We won't have an episode next week on the 20th of April, and then we will come back with episode 12 the following week. In regards to where that second and most likely final break for my calculations, my bet is that it might happen after episode 17, because it seems that it is basically confirmed that we are getting 20 episodes this season, rather than the original 18 episodes that was set at the start of the season. But then again, that final 1 week break could happen an episode or two earlier, could happen up to episode 15, after episode 16, who knows. But they have taken a week off before the final 3 episodes of seasons before, not just with The Flash, but many shows. So episode 17 is my guess just based off that. But of course, if there are any updates or changes to this, we will include them in later videos, of course, because that's what we do. In regards to The Flash's late ending for this season, I did see some people on social media wondering about what that means for the premiere date for season 9. And I have no real idea if the late finish will influence that. I mean, season 7 finished, I think, in middle of June, and we premiered in November with only like 5 episodes. So it's not like we had to wait till January for the show to premiere, like we had to do for season 7 originally, because I think when they actually start filming season 9 will be that will be the determining factor on when it actually comes out. I'm pretty sure there doesn't have to be like a set amount of time between an end of a season and the start of the next one. I mean, Legend of Tomorrow had I think it was like 6 weeks or something. It might have been like 8 weeks or something between the end of their previous season to the start of the one that just recently finished. Like, they had a super short off season in regards to the eyes of the viewer. But yeah, this is just like, that would just be like a wait and see situation, that entire thing. But next up, we actually have some promo images for this week's upcoming episode of The Flash, which, as I said earlier, is episode 12, episode 11, otherwise entitled Resurrection. Now, the thing with this that's odd is that they only released 3 images, which sometimes you get if the episode is still 2 or 3 weeks away and they just drop a few early and they'll drop the rest later. But the episode, as this video is coming out, most likely is only days away, like 2 days away, I think, maybe, when this video comes out. And there's still only 3 images, which sometimes does suggest they are hiding stuff. So a bit odd, but also intriguing. But let's go over what we have. So the first image is just Caitlin walking through Star Labs, but looking a bit like quizzical or curious about something. Not too sure exactly what she could be looking at. Now we know in the trailer that Caitlin, of course, is following on from that interaction from the end of last episode, where the Black Flame comes at her and goes, "Yo, it's me, Ronnie." Well, he doesn't say that. That'd be a bit weird if he said that. Would have been almost like it's a comedy or something like that. But like makes Caitlin believe that it's Ronnie within there. So maybe this is her saying something, or maybe someone approaches her, like Barry approached her, wanting to, stop her from doing something, and this is the look she gives them. I'm not too sure. Next up, we have Barry on his cellular device, aka a mobile phone. Hard to get anything from this. You can see someone's shoulder. No idea who it is. I would not be able to tell you in any shape or way or form or whatever it is what's going on here. It's just a random image, but yeah. And then the third one's interesting because I wasn't too sure, because Barry's talking to someone here and it almost looks like very concerned with what they're telling him. And I was like, is this, I think it's Iris. Like, now Iris obviously has the red hair, but like it looks a bit darker here. But I think you can see like tinges of it, and it might just be the lighting. And also the coat that this person that Barry's talking to, the person who Barry is talking to here is wearing, I'm pretty sure is the coat that Iris wore to Coast City, like the grey coat. Hopefully I can put something up on screen to compare them, where you can see the grey coat, like it's like a trench coat or whatever. And I think I can just see like tinges of red hair here. So I think this is either Iris returning there to Central City, or Barry runs to Coast City after the end of last episode and what happened. I would assume it's maybe the latter, like we exactly saw at the end of the beginning of last episode as well. Barry ran to Coast City, to get the update on the news of what was happening, and I think we might see something similar here as well. But of course, this time it's, hey Barry, bit awkward. These issues I'm having, they may have killed someone, or they just send them through time to an undisclosed and unknown location. A bit of a concern, but yeah. So that could be what's happening here with all of that. But of course, that's the final promo image, but it just seems like they're hiding stuff, which is really weird, because at the minimum, you usually get like 7 or 8. 3 is an incredibly low number. I mean, even for finale episodes, you get like 7 or 8. So don't know why they didn't release more. But to finish up, for the last thing in this video, we have some more promo material, and this is for episode 12, which is otherwise entitled Death Rises. Yes, very interesting title. But this is the episode after that 1 week break, and this is of course set to be the second and last episode for Ronnie Raymond this season. So who knows what the cliffhanger could be between episode 11 and episode 12 that we obviously have to wait another week to see play on from. Will it be torturous? Probably, knowing the show, but anyway, here is that synopsis. With a new meta terrorizing the city, Joe lends a hand to the local authorities. Meanwhile, Barry gets an assist from Cecile, who helps to track the mass murderer. Now, as I said, this is the second episode in which we will have Robbie Amell reprising his role of Ronnie Raymond from previous seasons, but the synopsis not only mentions Barry getting an assist in regards to tracking down the mass murderer, but also that there is a new meta terrorizing Central City. So I guess this begs the question, are they connected? Now, of course, it is pretty difficult to piece together too much, because I think getting a solid hint as to where this episode in particular could, lead really relies on possible revelations from the previous episode that we'll be watching in just a couple of days' time. Those possible revelations mainly revolving around Ronnie and whether that is actually him within the Black Flame, or if it's another hoax by whoever it actually is that is this, Black Flame being. However, with this new meta, it does say that Joe lends a hand to the local authorities, so it makes it look like maybe it won't be 100% connected to the mass murderer threat. And we might just see Barry dabbling in both sides of the synopsis and both sides of the story. So you got part of the episode with Seal and the mass murderer issue, and then part with this new meta that's terrorizing the city. And maybe it just could be because Barry thinks there's a connection or something. I'm not too sure. Now, of course, there is no Ronnie in the synopsis by name, not mentioned. Even in the previous one, there's no mention of Ronnie by name. So it is unclear whether the Black Flame was full of it when it approached Caitlin, or maybe there is a revelation in the previous episode, like we were saying before, and then that could be a possibility that, leads Barry and Team Flash down another route. Regardless, it will be interesting to see how it plays out, because this is a type of storyline which either ends in a very satisfying way. It might not be mind-blowing, but just satisfying. You go, yeah, everything pieced together, it worked well, and I was happy with how it all came together. Or it potentially ends in confusion, and whether things actually made sense. But as I've said a few times this video, I think episode 11 will be the episode that sort of nudges us in the right direction of whether it will be satisfying or whether it might be a little confusing and maybe nonsensical. But also, episode 12 will be a big factor in all of that as well. So it'd be interesting to see when things start to piece together in a more clear way for us, the audience, before a possible big reveal or just proper explanation. Now, in my notes here, I've just written one word that kicks off this little mini discussion, and that's just the word Eddie. Now, Eddie was meant to be back for at least 2 more episodes this season, so does he play into this? Now, the word on the streets of Vancouver, where of course the Flash films, is that he wasn't filming there recently, and it seems he came back for these multiple extra episodes after episode 6, of course, around the time of filming for these episodes. So, like, is he in episode 12, or does he show up in like episode 13 and 14? I mean, this episode 12, as I said, is called Death Rises. So, if we were going to see Eddie return and, well, rise from the dead, this seems like a pretty suitable episode for that to happen. But also, is like Eddie maybe the new meta terrorizing the city? Like maybe he's disguised as first and then it's revealed as like a reborn Eddie. Because it's important to remember what was said when it was announced that Rick Cosnet will be back for more episodes this season after episode 6 aired. And this is what Eric Wallace, the showrunner of The Flash, actually said. Rick's been such a fantastic part of our Flash family since season 1, and we have been looking for ways to bring him back to the show ever since. Fortunately, we've been able to do so now in season 8, and Rick has been fantastic in bringing an exciting new side to his portrayal of Eddie Thawne that honors the character's past, but also takes it somewhere unexpected. Now, that in itself, makes you, kick your theory engines into overdrive going, what does he mean by that last little bit there? But Deadline, who had the exclusive reveal at the time, added this at the time. Wallace would not share further details, but I hear that Cosnet's Eddie embodies different characters in his return. Cosnet potentially could do more episodes in season 9 if it's picked up as expected, with star Grant Gustin finalizing a new deal last month. Now, of course, we know season 9's happening, so that last bit, is even, I guess the offer's even more on the table now because it's actually happening, like the actual season. But in regards to the first part of that, embodies different characters. I mean, that's sort of like, you could argue that that's like an explanation for Black Flame. So could it actually be a corrupted Eddie Thawne that's reborn and it's done through Black Flame, or he is the Black Flame, or whatever it might be? Or maybe he is the new meta. I honestly have no idea exactly where they're going to go, but the explanation around like the Eddie return and everything, at least from this side that we just went over, leads it into this type of storyline or this area of the season. But unless he is actually involved at the end of this season, which they are on the final 2 episodes of filming at this point right now, he must have filmed during this area of episode. So maybe we do see him show up again in episode 12 or 13, or maybe even this week. Who knows what's going to go down, what's going to go down. So yeah, the mystery continues, as they would say. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on the video, guys, just to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on all this. What do you think's happening with Ronnie? And I guess more specifically, based off the end, what do you think's happening with Eddie? Especially when we bring back those quotes from the original announcement that was coming back. Because at the time we thought, oh, okay, ha ha ha. Couldn't really piece it together because we don't really know what's going on with the show. But now we have this thing going on, which could easily lead into this whole Eddie, return part of the season. So let me know all your thoughts and theories and opinions and predictions and everything like that. I'm always curious to read them. And of course, if you are new to the channel, want to, stick around and subscribe, why not click the subscribe button and stay subscribed, because that's how you be a subscriber. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye.